Hello and welcome. This is your host Rajeev. Today we'll go through two stories. But let me start with the story of a young man traveling solo in his mid 20s. This solo trip as a young adult took him through some countries in Europe and Africa. This young man in his 20s, a few years after his graduation from college and working for a while, he had never traveled to Europe before and was the first time exploring the countries. He wasn't so short on money but had barely kind of earned through to sustain his solo trip. He was staying around in pensioners, another name for European hostels. He would basically buy a baguette and cheese almost every day and occasionally tasted some wine. The young adult still recalls taking the bus ride from Madrid to Barcelona, which was overnight. His Spanish wasn't very good. He sort of became friend with a fellow traveler on the bus who could speak a little bit English, and he shared some bread with him while the traveler shared some wine as they engaged in a conversation. And as the bus arrived in Barcelona early in the morning, and it was just about daybreak, the young adult still remembers walking towards the Las Ramblas of Barcelona as the sun was coming up. This was one of those memorable moments for the young adult. This helped the young adult to appreciate his place in the world. Similarly, we can all recall some memorable trips from our lives, either a different country or our own, experiencing locals, cultures, traditions. The young adult in this story is none other than President Barack Obama, who later ran for office and became the 44th President of the United States. His passion for travel continued during his presidency and is considered the most internationally traveled president while in the office. The bus ride that involved sharing bread, wine, and discussion with another traveler was one of those moments that gave the future president a deeper sense of self and the importance of listening to one another. This is the story Obama recalled in front of the audience at the World Travel and Tourism Council Summit, speaking as an ex-president. According to Obama, there is something spectacular about seeing a new place, being exposed to the new ideas and experiencing a new culture. Traveling actually makes you grow. Obama sees travel as a way to unite people. Obama believes travel is about bringing people together instead of separating them out as us and them. If we try to reassert hard, rigid rules and not attempting to understand other people's opinions during a time when technology and information are seamless across borders, not only will we fail, but will see greater conflict and clashes between people. Travel is sometimes just the beginning of our story. It's the one mode of instilling a pride of togetherness in this global world. Now we come to the second story for today's video. This story begins in New York. There was a birth of a young lad in Mount Vernon, New York on December 28, 1954. His early days growing up were spent in a lower class neighborhood that was surrounded with crime, drugs, and violence. When the boy was 14 years old, he dealt with the struggle of seeing his parents going through a painful divorce, leaving his mother with him and his two siblings. And this was a moment of involvement with gangs and getting into fights that this young lad was almost getting into. But his mother pushed him to stay on the right path. Despite the challenges he faced, the young lad persevered. His mother ensured a better future for her son by sending him to the military academy in New Windsor. This pivoted the young man from a life of aimlessness to one of curiosity, where he would seek to find answers, to find out where he fitted into this world. In high school, he joined the football team and played as a quarterback. He continued to play football in college and joined the basketball and baseball teams as well. However, he discovered that a professional path in sports was not for him. His interests in biology and chemistry didn't pan out either after taking a challenging course, both sort of daunting subjects that didn't attract his interest. The young lad thought of trying political science. This was his next attempt, and he thought it would allow him to make a difference in the world as a lawyer. This got the young man interested in hearing the stories of others, leading him into the field of journalism. Soon the young lad came to realization maybe he should try something in the field of art. During a summer position as a camp counselor at the YMCA, he had his first experience performing in front of an audience when he was asked to put on a show for the kids. His natural charisma and stage presence was undeniable. A fellow camp counselor recommended that he pursue acting, and the young lad took his first steps into the world of performing arts. When the young lad returned to college after summer, he immediately transferred to Ford Ave University's theatre department to study acting. His first role was in the play of Othello, and he would go on to have successful performances in many more theatrical productions. After a successful college career in theatre, the young lad made the transition to film and landed his first movie role. The young lad in this story is none other than Denzel Washington, the renowned Hollywood actor who has won Oscars, Golden Globes, Tonys, and Lifetime Achievement Award. His first movie role was Wilma in 1977. During this movie, he met his present wife. Denzel Washington married actress Pauletta Pearson in 1983. They have 4 children. Their oldest son, John David, was drafted in 2006 by the NFL's St. Louis Rams and pursued a career in professional football before he followed in his dad's footsteps and started acting. Denzel is a devout Christian, and he mentions that he reads the Bible almost every day. One of Denzel's recollection after winning an award, he called his mother and she said, "I was being filled with the Holy Spirit." Denzel was being filled with the Holy Spirit. So Denzel goes like, does that mean I can never have wine again? Man gives you the award, but God gives you the reward. Acting is just a way of making a living. The family is life, according to Denzel Washington. In the larger tapestry of life, basically do what you got to do so that you can do what you want to do. These stories are sort of an inspiration that sometimes we need a nudge at the right time to correct our direction in life. Well, that's the 2 stories for today. Thank you.